who exactly are you targeting within your music? Because, for instance, South Africa, Cape Town listening is very diverse. You get a lot of people from everywhere coming in here, and they listen to various types of music. Now, as you said, the reception in South Africa is a bit difficult, but who exactly are you targeting?
We're targeting the general house market because I think as much as I'm bringing influences from tech house and bringing in influences from deep house, Lou adds a soulful pop aspect to it, and also the difference between it just being a DJ on stage and there being a live performance on stage, I think gives us a bit more of an appeal.
Makes it more personal.
And our music also is, I think, accessible to anyone who loves house music across the different broken genres, which I think is probably one of the reasons why we will do well. Is that we're not specifically locked into we only do funk house, or we're specifically locked into we do like really hard tech house. That's not us. We kind of cross a lot of those boundaries.
Yeah.
And there's enough appeal to all of those different kind of subgenres, if you like.
That's good. Now, we recently heard that you got third place for
the Moho Records remix competition.
How did that come about?
I found it online the day before the deadline. And thought I had nothing better to do. Actually, I did. I just didn't want to do it, so I needed a really good excuse to spend the whole day in the studio. And so I downloaded the parts, knocked it out, was really happy with it, and hoped it did well, and it did. I was quite pleasantly surprised. So,
is it an international competition?
Yeah, no, it's an international competition. So I'm was competing against producers all over the world. And I mean, Moho Records, if you listen to their catalog, they're a very good label, and they have a very specific sound, and they have quite a strong following. You know, so I was quite hesitant to, I don't know, like assume I would do well, but I was very happy to place.
Okay. Now I'd like for you to. I'm first going to ask Chris. Could you please tell us about Chase, your opinion of her, and how you view her as an artist?
She's a diva.
You gotta define that though.
No, she is a diva. She is classy. She's 10 feet tall on stage. I've seen very few performers in Cape Town or like anywhere in South Africa that really compare in terms of stage performance. She's got an incredibly dynamic voice, and a very approachable person as well. Like I find a lot of people who get into the music industry and get a little bit of fame, a little bit of attention, and suddenly like they don't know you. And Lou's never been like that. The first time, I think the best like way to maybe describe Lou from my perspective is we first met years ago and studied together back in 2000, and then I think about 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. I walked into Opium, and Lou was performing on stage, and she spotted me, walked off the stage with a cordless mic, and gave me a hug while she was singing, and sat on the couch, and when there was a break in the song, it's like, "Hi, how are you?" You know, and then got back up on stage and did her thing and rocked, and you know, and I think that Lou's real.
Okay. From your side,
me?
Yes, from you.
Well, I really, really, really love what I do. There's nothing else that I would want to do besides this. I mean, I've got some other projects that I'm running. Like I've started a hair business and just other things. But for me to get onto a stage is the only place where I really feel safe. And so when I get to perform, and especially when I get to share the stage with like brilliant producers and musicians and stuff, and that's, I mean, I credit my vocal ability to the fact that I've been working with phenomenal producers, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. So I really love what I do, and it shows on stage. I mean, I sometimes get onto the stage and maybe I've had a personal crisis, but it changes the minute I'm there. You know, then I become Lou Chase, the person that you get to see and the person you get to experience. And I help people. I sometimes feel almost like Teba Shumba says he's a social worker. I tend to help people get into contact with their emotions, because people are so, in today's world, like everybody's way too cool for school. So
could this be Timber's drums?
No, Tema Shuma, the Raga Soul Buffet.
Oh, okay. But I'd like to know what you think of
Christopher Wilde.
Yeah.
Oh
as
my
an
gosh.
artist.
Look, when I first saw Christopher Wilde at college and checked this dude out, and I was like, I wonder what he does. And then he started telling me that he does house music. And then I introduced him to another friend of mine, and they started working together, and I was like, because then Lex was raving about him. So I was like, oh, gotta get into the studio with this guy, but I was waiting for him to court me. So when he came to the gig, and we started speaking about it, and eventually he asked me to join him on writing some lyrics for the track. I started experiencing the fact that this boy is not just one-dimensional. There's so many different facets to him, and his career is just going to grow. He's got amazing potential to just blossom. I mean, he doesn't just do house. He does.
Besides the good compilation that you two have together, but who else would you like to work with outside your team individually?
Individually, I would very much like to work with Ruben from the other live house act,
Bang
Bang Bang in Cape Town, and I'd love to actually do a track with Lou and Ruben, because he's also, for me, Ruben's the other diva
Yes.
in Cape Town.
True that.
I'd love to work with Phoenix Coyote. I also think he's just an incredible soul singer, personally. He's just got an incredible range and tone, and it's also a rarity. So I look for people with, rare skills and sounds.
To your sound.
Yeah. I'm desperately looking for a trumpet player, but I'm yet to find one that
Christopher is looking for you if you're a trumpet player. And you?
I'm very lucky at the moment that I've been offered to work with one of my favorite producers in South Africa, Gabby LaRue. And I'd love to work with Grenville Williams from the band Godessa.
What are your plans for the next 3 months?
We're going to be hitting the studio hard.
Very hard.
We've got a couple releases ready that are going to start being promoted and going out to labels. We've got the music video launch for Still Driving, which is coming out on Inrichmint Recordings. And the launch is 4th of February, Thursday evening at Kink. You can find the event on Facebook and check it out, but that's going to be